Hello and welcome to day 27 of MP Strong 365. I am in a chair. I don't spend a lot of time in chairs before nightfall if I can avoid it, mostly because I have a case of the wiggles and it feels like you can think better, breathe better, move better, act quicker when you're in a standing position. So oftentimes we do find ourselves stuck in a chair. Maybe you're in a car, in an airplane, or just seated at a long engagement. There are ways that you can engage your body while sitting in a chair. Maybe standing for you right now is like a tough mountain to climb for long periods. You can improve the endurance of your muscles while remaining seated, whether you have to stay seated or you need just like, a gradual increase in that intensity. So we're gonna do some seated chair exercises. I've got one of my chairs here. I've got a couple of chairs in the house, a couple of stools, and I've got a fancy office chair I'm gonna bring over at some point for, oh, hello. Okay, go bye-bye, bye-bye. So in your chair to start, this is not a terrible thing to do, to cross your legs like such, as long as you know that you should be squeezing the inner thighs. In fact, there is a yoga pose called eagle pose, and the eagle pose looks like this, where you stand up and then you sink down, you cross your foot behind your ankle, and then you start like this, and then you swing the arms, and it's a double bind, and then you kind of squeeze and compress. This is a compression pose, and the goal here is to, I'm gonna flip sideways in eagle. Whoops, oh my gosh, I lost it. That's why they set it up like that. You do one piece at a time, is to flatten out the spine, lean down in your eagle, and then sort of drive down into that center body. Okay, so you're squeezing the inner thighs, you're squeezing the chest muscles, you're pressing into that stretch in the back of the shoulders, trying to get the wrists, fingers, everything bound. And then you come out of that eagle and they have you kind of spread out and do stuff in between, and then you go back into your eagle. You usually do some like a forward fold. So if you're in a chair and your legs are crossed, you can do that little inner thigh squeeze. Then release the inner thigh squeeze. And if you're, comfortable in your chair, you can come into a wide stance here, and you can spread your legs apart, stretching through the inner thigh, reaching the arm over the head. Let's take 3 breaths here. Look up, reach up, and scooch down into that inner thigh stretch. Good, reach up and over to the other side. Absolutely can do these in a squatted position, sans chair. That's the cool thing. The move is transferable to sitting down. This is a classic ballet stretch. If you're down and your legs are extended, you do that overhead. To standing in a squat position, pull your shoulder blades together, breathe in. Press your feet down into the floor, open up your inner thighs. Good. Let's come back to center line. We'll bring the legs together and we'll go into the other side crossed, and just hold this for a little while. You can take it up into like an eagle, kind of pull up knees to chest. I'll turn the chair to this side for a couple other exercises. My feet look like abnormally large in this picture with my geeky wool socks. Love these socks. I love socks. Aren't socks great? All right, let's release that cross. And we're gonna take a little bit of a calf raise. So this is one of them that you can do underneath a table, in a plain seat, doing calf raises. So when I'm doing my calf raises, I'm focusing on getting, I love my squishy pad, getting my heels up nice and high and dragging my shins back, keeping the knees behind the ankles, keeping a nice upright posture. So drawing your belly button into your spine like you're just cinching up your belt buckle a little bit. You can even raise your hands up to shoulder level like such, just to cue your body to be in a posture that is raised up from here to here and then lowered down from here to here. So ear to shoulder is long, right? From this length, and then this length is also long. And we'll just pick up, and you can dance your heels up and down, working on pressing those pinky toes into the floor. Great. Let's do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great. Let's cross an ankle over the knee. And some people, they stop here. Like, this is how much stretch they get in the hip. This equivalent would be like a pigeon pose in yoga. So if you're swinging your leg sort of folded at a figure 4, some people do it on an elevation, like, or from a lunge position. So Google pigeon pose yoga. This, I suppose, would be chair yoga. So what I'm going to do is use my arm to drive pressure down into that knee. And you can just act like in a conversation, I'm really interested in what you're saying. But really, you're interested in stretching out the outside of the hip on that cross foot. Hey, look at this. We've got a free foot. You can roll your ankle. Over time, you will be able to focus on both the conversation that you're having or the activity that you're performing while doing these movements. And then you will be labeled ADHD, like me. Just kidding. But the body should not be separated from the mind, which mine actually was getting there pretty quickly. And switch the direction of your ankle roll while still applying pressure down, forearm to that leg. Oh yeah, that's good. That's getting a little nice hip stretch there. Keeping your core slightly engaged by just the breath. Nice. Good, one more time. Oh yeah, and you got a good ankle crack there. Amazing. Let's take this leg, stick with this leg. You're gonna leave the leg hovering away from the chair, and notice how I'm swinging the heel back behind me. That is a hamstring curl. So at the gym, you have those hamstring curl machine. Same muscles. I don't even know what I was saying before, but going back to the now, I was talking about wiggling and body movement. Oh yeah. You can tell if you're losing your mind and body connection by whether or not you have a case of the dropsies. Now, I'm keeping my foot flexed, my ankle flexed on this one. I've done something like this similar, I think, on the stability ball. And to the side, I am not raising my knee above the other leg too much, but it's just a centimeter hover. Okay, I'm going to try to drag my chest back a little bit, like so I'm not puffing out so much from here. That's a bad habit of mine. And so trying to open up just through the stomach. So if I close that part down in the stomach, I get a little bit of a crunch. But if I'm puffed out here, then I don't get that crunch. You see the difference? So if I'm puffed out here, then I have a cinch here and I can't really use it. You'll see a lot of weightlifters like have this position. Not necessarily the best. Look how it happens when I drag my sternum back and then breathe in through just below into the stomach. Then I can get that flat line crunch. So this is always a work in progress for me as well. All right, I was in kind of a hamstring curl there. If you have a case of the dropsies, if you're like, you pick something up and it falls, or whatever, that is my biggest diagnostic of my mind and my body are not connected. Like I'm not present, I'm not focused on the task at hand. Dexterity, gets wonky, whatever. I'm just not moving smoothly. So I'm like, all right, it's time for a little MP strong here. Keep accountable. I'm dragging my other heel down into the floor while I'm doing this, just for, again, you just want to create your own tension. A couple more times here. Groovy. All right, and we're going to take it to the other side, crossing the ankle over that knee or over that opposite thigh, top thigh. And I'm gonna take a few breaths in through here. I'm gonna take this forearm, this left forearm, and just stick it on top of that left leg, leaning forward from the stomach and spine just slightly. Trying not to puff out my sternum and chest too much. The little invert here, I refer to it as the sit crease. So you're kind of sitting and you get this fold. Okay, so I want to undo that like center sit crease. So I lengthening out that part of me while not poofing out like too far into the chest. So just a few breaths there. It's hard to because it's so personalized to you. Your posture is your own. So the best suggestion that I can provide is if you crunch into, like act as if you're literally doing crunches, that will help you identify which part is getting longer and shorter. Great. If this is a very easy stretch for you to do, like it just flops open, put just the ankle bone on, lean up more, and then lean forward more. So it's up and then forward, up and forward. And you'll probably find that you get a little bit of a nice stretch from there. I didn't do my ankle rolls on this, so I'll do a couple ankle rolls. I'm gonna grab onto the calf and just kind of squeeze, applying manual. This is tissue, right? It does well. This is like self-massage. And the muscle tissue does respond very well to your own self-manipulation, like your little rubbing and stuff like that. And it doesn't, I don't know, there are always these counterculture, like, oh, she's always like rubbing herself and stuff. Like, give me a break. Like, it's my own muscle tissue. Like, I want to get blood flow to it. Like, you know, let me do what I want to do. And we'll go ahead and relax this out of this stretch and into our extension. So I'm going to flip to face the other side. I'm going to do a couple of those sit crunches, seated crunches. Getting long through the stomach. And then compressing through what's called your rectus, erect. Abdominis, abs, rectus, abdominis is your six pack. So abdominis, abdomen, rectus, erect. That's your center line abs, your six pack abs. And we'll go into those extensions. There are two major muscles that make us Homo erectus or Homo sapiens. That's the rectus abdominis, the centerline abs, and the gluteus maximus. That is our booties. Our butts make us bipedal. The apes don't have booties. They crawl on all fours. Our butts keep us upright. I'm going to put a link in the description with a fabulous episode from a podcast called Radiolab about man versus horse. And it's who wins in a running competition, man versus horse. I am really trying to get this quad. This quad is naughty. So I'm trying to get this quad. I think maybe it was a surf thing that happened, but we're not going to talk about that. It was back in August. And this quad is like funky. It's like there's this missing space here, right where it connects to the patella, which is the tendon that overlays the kneecap. I'm just trying to work into that leg extension. These machines also exist at the gym. Easy to use. Easy to use with a band around my foot. Well, look at that. It's right there. You can find resistance and load like all over the place. So if I have this under, then if I hook it right, then I can kick out on this leg, adding resistance. Ooh, that's good. Oh yeah, that's a good one. I should have been doing this the whole time. But this is supposed to be like sans equipment. So you can add a resistance band. You can put it under your chair leg. Should have done that. And kick out there. All right. So now that we're all warmed up in our chair, let's stand up and then we'll sit back down. So Well, go ahead and brace into your booty, squeeze your butt cheeks underneath you. They call that tucking your sits bones in yoga. Roll the shoulders back, be on the edge of your seat with anticipation of these squat sits. We're gonna do these with all 4 corners of the feet planted down. So all 10 toes, base of the heels. There should be a tiny little cup for your arch. So curl your toes underneath you to find the cup of your arch. And we'll center ourselves in our chair. And usually when I get up, I just get up, right? I'm gonna try to get up with some style. So I'll do some facing the front. I'm gonna try to keep my knees still, my spine upright, and literally instead of lunging forward, I'm going to stand straight up out of my seat. That's the goal, is to rise straight up. So as I rise straight up, the knee wiggled a little bit, my toes flipped up. We had all sorts of problems to solve here, enhancements to make. And then the booty squeezes at the top. So when you come back down to seated, you want 0 pressure in the knees by replacing that into the back of the legs. So to review, and then we'll add on one more thing, 4 corners of both feet are grabbing into the floor. You're trying not to lunge. I'm just kidding. Lurch forward, standing straight up. And then I'm going to try not to puff my sternum open, but rather my stomach stays long. My glutes are squeezed at the top. Good. In college, I didn't know how to do squats loaded, and I cried after when we were lifting, after swim practice. And so my coach just had me hold the bar and use a bench behind me. This is a great way to learn how to perform squats, because then you can take it to a point where you're down by the chair, and then you come up right from the chair, the chair was super hot. And you don't want to burn your booty. Oop, don't want to burn the booty. We come back up, okay? The last step on this sit down is gravity is easy. I can plop down, right? It happens for me. As long as there's a seat there, no problem. Gravity's got my back. But we want to fight gravity on the way down. So I'm going to face to the side. I'm going to clean up these squat sits so you can kind of see the angle. We'll keep it real, keep it honest. I want to keep my knees behind my toes. Going to keep the weight in the underbelly of my hamstrings as much as I can find them. And then I'm going to place my arms out in front of me, or you can clasp them at your chest for a little more pressure. And I'm going to come straight up as much as I can, pulling the booty forward. The stomach is long, the sternum is back. And then I'm going to sit down, decelerating, pull your belly button to your spine, and come right back up. I'm going to take half an inch back there. So squeeze your booty, send it back, and come right back up. And down, and up, and down, and up, and down. Grab the floor with your 10 toes, and down, and up. Let my arms move free, and down and up. Squeeze your booty at the top, and down and up. Step. Good. And down and up. You're drawing the elbows back. A little bit of a back muscle here. Good. On the way up, you can drag your arms back as if you're going to leap out of the chair and come right back down to seated. Yes, you can add squat hops. Please do. I applaud the jump. Good. The jump through the legs. Good. We got 8 more of whatever you're doing, whether it be hop ups or regular squat sits, working on your press palms perhaps. I'm going to do 3. I'm migrating, I own it. They're not as precise there, but that's okay. They gotta let it go. Just squeeze the back of the booty. And last one. All right. So we're out of the chair. Congratulations. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Pancake. This is Pancake for anyone who doesn't know. And we're going to come up just a touch here with the view. Now that we're out of the chair, the last thing we'll do today is put the leg up on the chair. There's so much to do. Okay, I'll just give you 2. One is a push-up on the chair. So why don't I just move the chair? So if it's a stationary object. You can grab the sides of your chair, make sure the chair has a nice solid floor, or you can grab the front of your chair, so sides. If you're grabbing the sides of an object, press your palms into it like you're trying to pop it. Okay, we're trying to find resistance here. So in any position we're doing. So either grip the sides or press your palms. I'm gonna just do tucking knee across the chest, okay? So tuck the knee across the chest, replace the foot. We'll do 12. Good, the goal here is kind of gentle slide. Gentle slide. Into the hip flexors, into the centerline abs. 3, 2, and 1. Fantastic. So what I wanted to do here is put a leg up on the chair, and this is actually one of the most sneaky effective exercise that my sprint coach gave me when I was trying to like go fast in 2021. So shout out to you, Ash, and Ashford Somerville. Great coach, great footballer too. So before we did any speed, agility, quickness, he had me warm up the underbelly. So just putting a leg up on a step. We did do like step up drivers, and you can like add load to your legs on, like if you're doing a step up driver, it's just from here to here. That was a trust activity. And so like you just do step up to drive like this, and you move your elbows like this. But we are just gonna start, you see, if I did that without the underbelly warm up, then I wouldn't be as effective on getting that power through the bottom half of the leg. So what I'm gonna try to do is square out and firm up the standing leg and just wobble that knee that's on the chair. By wobbling the knee, you massage the underbelly of the leg around the 4 hamstrings, because there are 4 of them, around the inner thighs a little bit and the outside of the hip. Your hip is 360 degrees of movement. You've got attachments of all those hamstrings all into that hip. So just doing this movement, 30 seconds, a minute, with your foot firmly planted, imagining, really visualizing all those muscles that attach from your knee all the way up to the hip on the underbelly of your leg. Good. To finish it off, instead of doing step-ups, you can do step-ups if you want to. Go ahead and do that after we're done here. We'll just lift the knee, lower it down. Float, down, float, down, float, 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 float. 10, 9, 8, 7, arms up. Wunderbar. All right, little forward fold maybe if you want a deliciousness. Well, look at that. The chair comes in handy for all sorts of things. I'm thinking of all these cornea issues that I've heard about recently. You have to lay with your eyes facing down to the floor for like days at a time watching Netflix. This would be a good way to do it. All right, let's come up to the other side. Underbelly. This used to be worse, but I was like, call myself like a Rice Krispie treat because I just like snap, crackle, pop all the time. Snap, crackle, pop is a tendon that is rolling over the bone. It's just because tendons attach muscles to bones. So your muscles are getting all lubricated and moved, and all those muscles, they attach to the bone via a tendon. So when the tendon like kind of moves a little bit, it literally just will make an air, like it's like air in there. I know I'm making, sort of being flip about it. There are pops that are like not good pops, but my little Rice Krispies are a function of, I have an overproduction of collagen, like sometimes, anyways, it's like a hormone thing. So I tend to snap, crackle, pop a little bit more. I don't envy myself in 20 years with like all the arthritis that I'm probably gonna have. But hey, some hormone things you just gotta handle with other methods. So I'm just rubbing along the underbelly here, just chit-chatting away. You can be listening to a song or counting on a timer, but I'm just thinking about the underbelly of that leg. And I am gonna do 4 step-up drivers here on this very kind right hip. So we step up and through and see what we do. I'm gonna add the elbows. The first one's kind of a trust exercise of the chair, and we just pop up and down and pop up and down. All right, so I could do like 10 or 12. Those actually felt pretty good. Now I'm gonna lift the knee, lift and lift. The standing leg stays up and locked. Hopefully you can feel weight in your booty, in the back leg. Try to shift weight back into that back leg as I rise this right knee up. So the back leg getting straighter and longer, that is like you are just launching into the air, right? Imagine if you were bounding up a flight of stairs. You would use this same technique where you're pushing into the standing leg to straight as the other one drives up to the chest for 3, 2, and 1. Good, amazing. Great job with your chair exercises today, and we'll see you for way more fun tomorrow. Oh yeah, I'm recording on my phone now to see if the camera thing gets better. Okay, and now I have to figure out how to stop it. Okay, bye.